Over the years, the Renaultsport Clio has built up a reputation for being one of the finest handling front-wheel drive cars in the world, with the agility of a Wasp and rorty petrol engines. But then in 2013, with the release of the all-new Renaultsport 200, that changed. There were some major differences, including a 1.6 litre turbocharged engine and a flappy pedal gearbox. And while it was quick, it's fair to say some of the raw, visceral excitement of the older cars was lost. But the story doesn't end there, because a host of changes have gone into making this limited edition 220 Trophy version one of the most exciting hatches money can buy. Go Faster add-ons go much further than just a set of stickers. There's a new exhaust, a freer breathing air intake and a bigger turbo, which all add up to a power increase of 20 horsepower. Not only that, but the gear shift is now down to 140 milliseconds in race mode, and the paddles themselves have been made 30% snappier. 0 to 62 mph sprints are down to just 6.6 seconds, and there's also a launch control mode to make getting away from the lights even more grin-inducing. The chassis is incredibly capable too. The rear springs are 40% stiffer, there's a limited slip differential between the front wheels which improves traction out of slow corners. And not only that, but this car comes fitted as standard with Michelin Pilot Super Sport tyres, which are the same ones you'll find fitted to some really high-end sports cars and even some supercars. So, does it all come together? Well, yes and no. Renaultsport have clearly wanted to show off their latest technology and F1 know-how. But the thing about hot hatches is, they've always revelled in simplicity. So, out of all the range of performance cars, they've tended to be the ones that are the easiest to just jump in and go quickly in, because they're a familiar size and they won't punish you if you push too hard. Jump in this Clio and set off, and it feels, well, not like that. In full auto mode, the shifts are too woolly and it just doesn't feel that quick. But the longer I've spent with this car, the more I've started getting used to its traits. And while it is a bit annoying to keep having to change driving modes, shift the gear stick across into manual and press down the RS button for 5 seconds to get it into full race mode, and all of a sudden the whole car just wakes up. The exhaust note is fruitier, the shifts are at maximum attack, and it's fully manual. So it won't even shift up at the limiter, leaving you to do everything yourself. And all of a sudden, this Clio is a proper little track day car, and it feels serious too. It's definitely faster than a Fiesta ST, and the handling feels really sharp. But perhaps the most impressive thing is the grip out of corners, even in the wet. Compared with a normal Clio, there are actually quite a few changes in here, including the expected trophy and RS badges and kick plates, and this nice steering wheel. It also has large metal paddle shifters, although they aren't quite as clicky as we'd like, if you know what I mean. There are also these trophy optional seats which have an integrated headrest, and they're also leather and heated, but they will set you back £1,600 extra. There's some nice bits of trim too, including all this red stitching around the steering wheel and things like the gear gaiter, and also some faux carbon around the air vents. The other main option to consider is the Renault Sport monitor. Now at £295 is a little bit steep, but it gives you access from the infotainment system to all the car's telemetry. So you can plug in Silverstone and do your lap times, or you can even look at things like your boost pressure of your turbo and your throttle and brake position, and even choose from 5 different throttle maps, so you can adjust the sensitivity to how you like it. Renault has made every Clio a 5-door, but carefully integrated the handles here so you don't really spot them. What it does mean, however, is that getting in and out of the back is far easier. But if you plan on using the back seats a lot, then you probably don't want to buy these bucket seats, which I mentioned before, because they really cut down on knee room. In fact, I've got to wedge mine over to the sides and I'm only 5'11". Headroom's not that great either, so if you're over 6 foot, you could struggle. The boot's impressive though, and with 300 litres it's one of the biggest in the class, with plenty of room for your spare tyres, axle stands and helmets. With the standard RenaultSport Clio costing just over 19 grand, the Trophy with all its extras seems like a bit of a steal at less than 22,000, but it is still pricey compared to most of its rivals, with even a fully loaded Fiesta ST coming in a few £1,000s cheaper. It might not be the obvious hot hatch choice anymore, but the Trophy is a big step in the right direction for the turbocharged Clio. If you're thinking of buying one, our advice would be to try and get some time behind the wheel, or find a friendly owner to take you out in theirs, because it does take a little while to get used to all its different driving modes and foibles. But on the right road or track, and preferably in race mode, this Trophy really does show that Renault Sport still knows how to conjure some front wheel drive magic. But what do you think of the 220 Trophy? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. To find out more about this car, click on the inquire button, or to watch more reviews like this one, click on one of the links on screen now.